Well, welcome everybody to the 5th day of 31 days of May of content I'm doing on my channel here, and we've got a sort of a big event here, as yes, not only is it the 5th day of May, it's time for WCW Slamboree 2005, live from the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. at the end of May. Ignore any times I might have accidentally said we were going to Chicago for Slamboree. That was me totally forgetting after a couple months of not booking where we were actually going, but hey, that's fine. But, you know, before let's get rolling, let's get going with the actual show here. As we start out with a video, basically focusing on the big feuds that are going on, which include, you know, Rob Van Dam versus Kidman for the WCW World Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Tricia Skye versus Joanie Laurer in a battle of two of the biggest women's stars in WCW. Eddy Guerrrero versus Kanyon in a caged heat match. And Goldberg versus Frye in a battle of Predator versus Prey, along with the big Assault of Anarchy match for the tag titles, and much, much more. Then, yeah, that opening, you know, little video got a 73 as we go to our opening match. Well, first what's going, as our opening match is cage heat between Kanyon and Eddy Guerrrero. You know, trying to keep this somewhat realistic, and either it has to be sort of the main event or the, you know, opening match of the show to deal with the cage heat coming up and down. You know, both men get into the ring, and here's the thing is, even though, like, there's a lot of fighting here and lots of brawling and, you know, lots of big bumps being taken, like, this isn't like a stunt show, because this is two men who absolutely despise each other, and they're battling and going after each other and just trying to just destroy each other in that ring right from the start. So, you know, there's going to be color here, there's going to be fighting, big moves, and, you know, both men do end up taking big bumps. I imagine, you know, a set of tables being set up on the outside, Kanyon going to send Eddy off him, but Eddy getting the advantage, and Kanyon taking a big, you know, Tommy Dreamer style bump through all the tables. Eddy going for the win, but Kanyon eventually fighting back, and then Kanyon, you know, sending Eddy through the cage door, them fighting on the outside, them climbing up to the top, but no bump off the top because I don't want to kill each of my men. But we will set up sort of a gimmick where the, you know, the middle sort of panel is, you know, loose, and what will happen is Eddy will go after Kanyon, but Kanyon is ready for him, and Kanyon will backdrop him through the middle, what's the word I'm looking for here? Through the middle panel, and Eddy will take a big bump, but will have, like, sort of reinforce the mat to make sure it's sort of a, like, softer bump, but, you know, it'll still look great as Eddy falls 15 feet, and then Kanyon will sort of go down through the middle panel and do a John Morrison-style splash while hanging. Hopefully that's a safe enough bump, but that's all that needs to be done. 1, 2, 3. After over 20 minutes to end this, Kanyon gets the huge win here to begin, open up cage heat, and get the win over Eddy Guerrrero. So unfortunately, this was a little disappointing. It was an 86, and basically there was, I mean, part of it was announcing, but I think because Eddy got a 92, Kanyon got a 93. But unfortunately, I did set this up as a spectacle, and in order for that, you need good psychology, which both men have. But the other thing that got knocked here is Kanyon was inconsistent, so that sort of hurt things. But, you know, still a great way to cap off the feud here, and a great way to open up Slamboree in front of a sold-out crowd at the Verizon Center. And after the match, both men are taken to the back. You know, basically, you know, all of our sort of, like, various backstage people, some referees, some road agents all come out and basically get both men and get out to the back as the crowd cheers, as the announcers put over, you know, Eddy Guerrero may have lost tonight, but but he's still one of the best in the business, and Kanyon proved that he is still at the top of his game here in WCW. And next up, we have a bit of a change in pace as we have the Helms Legacy kind of exploding here, as, you know, Shane Helms, of course, was long time teamed up with Reno and Gigantes, along with Cash. Cash went over to Revolution during the WCW draft, and eventually Titus Tomko came in and, you know, basically sent Reno out of here, and Gigantes was away for a while for rehab. But first Reno came back to, you know, basically battle, and then Gigantes came back a couple weeks ago, and now they're teaming up together to take on Helms and Tomko. And this is a very solid undercard tag match. You know, the reality is, at the moment, I don't have a ton for Shane Helms to do at the top of the card, like sort of the cocky, prick heel component is taken up by our current world champion. And, yeah, Eddy and Kanyon were also feuding. So, and plus, there's some fun stuff you can do here sort of in the mid card as part of the tag division as we build them back up. And that's what this was. Basically, it's a fun little tag match, like, decent stuff going on. Reno's and Dante's are decent, are a good sort of like, power babyface tag team throwing helms around, but Tomko comes in, they brawl, they fight, they brawl a little more, but eventually, Reno Ganke's even hits a big choke slam on Chain Helms, but Titus Tomko comes in for the save. They start brawling, things break down, and eventually what happens is Shane Helms is able to hit a super kick into a sort of cutter from Tomko, totally clean on Reno, and 1, 2, 3, the heels pick up the big victory here on Slamboree as Shane Helms and Titus Tomko get the win basically cleanly. Like, there's obviously some, like, cheating and double teaming, but, like, in the ring, unfortunately, Shane Helms is a former world champion, and Titus Tomko is a, newcomer that has looked very impressive as they get the win here in a little under 10 minutes. This gets a 69 nice, Titus gets a 41, Shane Helms gets a 78, Gantes gets a 63, and Reno gets a 65. And here's the thing, like, I was hoping for some, like, really good chemistry between Gantes and Reno, because then I could possibly keep them as a solid part of the, like, tag division. And they still will be, but, like, they'll just be, like, they won't be, like, top tiers. I mean, they might be, weird things have happened. But, like, because the other thing I do want to do is sort of, like, rebuild up the tag division. Because with teams being split and, like, we've only had a couple. And so I want to, like, at least have, like 6 or 7 full-time tag teams on each show. And this is sort of beginning it. But here, a big win for Helms and Tomko, as then post-match, the heels celebrate to the boos of the crowd, as this gets a 65. And next up, we have our first title match of the night, as Mike Sydal defends the WCW Cruiserweight Champion against the arrogant Austin Aries. And, I mean, this is just a pure high spots match. Like, this is both guys being told there and just to go off for a little over 13 minutes. Like, Sydal's flying around, springboard dives, moonsaults, aside moonsaults, springboard DDTs, wacky moves, planchas, tope con hilos. Aries does his, sort of explosive, cruiser stuff, lots of suplexes, slams, attempts at brainbusters, but Sydal gets out. Some more fighting. Austin Aries gets a near fall off a quick brainbuster, but Sydal gets his foot on the ropes. He goes for another one. Sydal comes back. Lots of fighting. Sydal hits a big dive on the outside. Hits a sort of like modified cutter to bring Aries back in. Eventually, though, Aries goes for another brainbuster, but Sydal is ready for him. He slides out of it, hits a quick sort of like hits a quick dragon suplex, a big knee, and then Sydal goes up to the top, shooting star press, and like I said, in a little over 13 minutes, Mike Sydal gets the win and his third defense of the WCW Cruiserweight title here at Slamboree. So yeah, overall the match got a 46 because they're both unimportant, but Sydal got a 51, Aries got a 50, and let's see, was there anything else that really hurt it? Inexperience for Matt Sydal, and yeah, unimportant, but still, only a couple point ding for that, as like the match would have got like probably a 52-53 without it. But still, solid stuff. Sydal gets the big win here and defends his title, and the question is who will be the next man to step up and take on Matt Sydal for that Cruiserweight Championship. And post-match, Sydal celebrated, and decent 40, not the end of the world. And I hoped one of these guys would have been hot enough that the unimportant would have mattered, but sometimes that stuff happens. Next up, it's time for another title match as Alex Wright makes another defense of his U.S. Championship against Cash. Of course, Wright's been a solid U.S. champion for basically all this year, and a couple weeks back on Revolution, Wright, Cash was attacked Wright, basically wanting to make a statement to be to make a name here in WCW once again and become a champion, this time on his own without any teammates. And match was made, and here we go. And this is a very solid match, but like it's a mid-card title match. Like Cash comes in, hits some big cruiser US Pro style offense, some big slams, suplexes, being sort of the bully weight, but Alex Wright is actually the same size as him, so it's not as good. Wright does some technical stuff, some big suplexes, butterfly suplex, DDTs, take him down for submissions. Cash fights back, does some cheating to gain the advantage. Does a little hip pivot Tori because of course he does. hits a few big drop kicks, hits a planche on the outside, gets distracted by Tori, which allows Wright to get on the offense back again, lock in an STF in the middle, near the ropes. Cash gets out, hits a low blow, goes for the dead level. Wright gets out of it, takes back over on offense, and eventually hits his, his implant double arm DDT right in the middle of the ring and picks up the clean victory for his 5th successful U.S. title defense here at Slamboree. This gets a 72. And I thought about putting Cash over as he got to 76, or Wright gets to 72. But, we're sort of, heel heavy. Well, we're not heel heavy, but, with him, if he was a champion, that would have U.S. Championship under a heel and the World Championship under a heel, along with, who knows what else is going on. And I wasn't sure, what competitors, what contenders he would have right away. But that doesn't mean, this is over. Because, Wright's sort of, he's had a solid run, but I'm not sure what else. He's sort of also, where do we go from here? I have a few ideas, especially with him and Tori, and also involving, Tori's new charge, Keith Walker, but that'll have to wait till Revolution. And let's see, was there anything else specific going on here? Low experience, right. Low morale. Okay, Wright has low morale, which I forgot, and not the best heat, but still solid match. And post-match, Wright and Tori celebrate to the cheers of the crowd as this gets a 63. Next up is a huge women's match as part of the women's division here in World Championship Wrestling, as Joanie Laurer, who's been sort of the dominant part of the women's division, since she stepped into it, taking on Tricia Skye, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, and these two women just go at each other. They're both very, over. Laurer's one of the top heels in the company. Tricia Skye's, at this point, is the top babyface in the women's division, and they just go at each other. Big, Wright, big strikes, big moves. Laurer goes for the kill shot early, hitting a big boot and then picking up Tricia Skye for a powerbomb, but Skye turns it into a Rana, goes on the attack herself, big forearm, big bulldog, goes for the Skye limit early, but Joanie Laurer turns that into a big powerbomb for a near fall. They basically step back after both hitting their bombs at each other and failing, so we get, control segment from Laurer, but Skye fights back, goes to the outside. Laurer sends Skye over the announce table, hits another big boot, hits a big hot shot onto the ringside, barrier, throws Laurer back in, but, she plays with her foot a little bit, so Laurer is ready and, sort of dead, is dead weight for the another attempt at the power bomb, and Skye's able to actually pick up Joanie and hit her with a big Alabama slam. Back on offense, hits a few big moves, but she hits the, she goes for the chick kick, but Laurer, basically blocks it, hits a big size suplex, hits another big boot, but this time Tricia's ready for it, and she does a duck under, and then hits, sort of chop blocks Joanie Laurer, hits a big crossbody, and then rolls through and hits the Sky's the Limit right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3, and Tricia Skye picks up a huge victory here at Slamboree over Joanie Laurer. And the match itself gets a 76. Tricia gets an 87. Joanie gets an 84. So should have been an 85. So let's see what hurt it here. Hot crowd. Okay, Laurer inconsistency, low morale, and announcing quality, low experience. Because again, announcers are Tenay. Oh, whoops. No, that's right. That's right. Tenay and Savage. I was like, wait, no, that's wrong. But yeah, so solid stuff here. Not the end of the world, but still a very big, good match. Lack of heat from Sochi's storyline. I guess I should have, I didn't have them on the last Revolution, so that probably cooled their feud off slightly. Live and learn. But yeah, post-match, Skye celebrates to the cheers of the crowd as the announcer's really put over, as, she slew the giant of Joanie Laurer, and she can refocus on becoming WCW Women's World Champion once again. 73, as we move forward. And our next match is a very big match as part of the, basically battle to figure out who's the actual, top dog in Revolution. Booker and Palumbo have had some, back and forth battles, both in tag matches, triple threat matches, singles matches, and now they fight one more time here at Slamboree to really prove who is the top shelf talent here in WCW, specifically on the Revolution brand. And it's a very, here's the thing, they don't click at all, so it was awkward, but it was heated as hell, and they just went after each other and beat the crap out of each other. That's basically what this match was. Not a lot of tactical moves, not a lot of, big, not a lot of hot moves, as Dave Meltzer would say, just brawling, fighting, sending into the ringside barrier, over the steps, brawling, fighting, clawing. Booker T gets a little dirty because, he's cheered by the fans right now, but he was still, a long-time heel. Big suplex. Palumbo goes for the Palumbo's Pride, but Booker gets out of it. Booker goes for his bookend, but Palumbo blocks it. Raine, and Sharmell both get involved, at a certain point, and I imagine a spot where they're out on the outside, and both of them get in the ring, and there's a catfight spot because this is 2005. But the interesting is the actual finish. So, this goes for about 9-10 minutes, and then we have a ref bump. And what happens is Monty Brown, who of course talked about wanting, being very upset he's not on Slamboree, comes out from the back as, some officials try to stop him, and he's like yelling about, wanting a challenge. Both men are sort of upset, and he is yelling at both men. He eventually gets in the ring after Palumbo takes Booker takes out Palumbo, and it looks like Monty slips in the ring and is going for the pounce on Booker, but actually Booker gets out of the way at the last second and he nails Palumbo. But then AJ Styles comes out of the crowd, still with a sort of like his knee wrapped up after basically being attacked on the outside by Monty Brown during their singles match in Revolution a few weeks back, leading him getting a count out loss. And he actually comes in and he hits a springboard going for Monty, but Monty gets out of the way and he nails Booker. And then those two men start fighting as WC officials come down to the ring, and both men get up. Palumbo gets up first. He goes for the Palumbo's Pride. Booker gets out of it at the last second. Axe kick, picks him up. Bookend. 1, 2, 3. A huge victory for Booker here at Slamboree. So yeah, these two didn't click, and they still got a freaking 85. Booker gets 78. Palumbo gets an 80. I threw in that interference, to get those two guys on the show so they wouldn't be slightly upset, and also because it makes sense because they've all been intertwined on Revolution, and it gives Palumbo excuse for losing. So let's see here. What actually hurt it? Inconsistency, stamina. Okay, so both men were hit by stamina, worker chemistry, and so yeah. I mean, honestly, if outside of like the chemistry and the announcing, this possibly could have got like mid 90s. So really awesome match. And post match, Booker T and Sharmell celebrate to the cheers of the crowd as it gets a 74. As we move forward here, back to the Nitro side of things. Actually, I was wrong about the Nitro thing. I forgot there's one more. Because if you notice, I sort of wanted to keep the Nitro and Revolution matches together just for reality as we're switching commentating teams and everything until the end when there's the cross-brand stuff. Well, not the cross-brand, but the big title matches. Anyway, what's focus is Gail Kim versus Celine Cartier. Of course, Celine Cartier and Gail Kim faced off on Revolution, and it looked like Cartier was going to pick up the title when Gail Kim blasted her with the actual title to basically, cause a DQ finish. And so Cartier wanted a rematch. It was given, and now they're going off together. And here's the thing. Tricia Skye's a big star. Joanie Laurer's been a dominant part, but if you want to talk about the two best actual wrestlers in the division, it may be Gail Kim and Celine Cartier. And they show that to everybody here tonight as they just go after each other. And it's a battle between two of the top women in the sport right now, anywhere you want. Japan, Mexico, right here in the United States, and it's, Gail Kim's going with her strikes, her big moves, her flying maneuvers, and Cartier is just doing this with power, big suplexes, a German suplex, throwing Gail Kim around, big clotheslines, big boots, this squat, powerful Cartier just taking apart Gail Kim, but Gail Kim, fights back, hits a eye rake, takes back on control, throws Cartier to the outside, hits a big crossbody out to the floor, throws her into the ring post, battles, continues on the attack in ring. Gail Kim locks on a submission, lucha style submission, but Cartier gets to the ropes. But Gail Kim looks like she's going for the killing stroke going up top, but Celine's ready for her. She goes up top, battles, hits a huge superplex. Both women are down. Cartier goes to pick her up for the cease leve, the area cash, but Gail is ready, elbows out of it, hits a reverse DDT, hits a big savate kick, goes up top, eat the feet, 1, 2, 3, and Gail Kim retains her WWE World Championship, Women's World Championship here in Washington, D.C. And honestly, a freaking awesome match. This gets an 85. Again, was hurt by the this actually deserved better commentary. Unfortunately, here's the thing. Randy Savage was a fun ideas color commentator, but he's not quite working out the way I wanted. So I've been sort of like thinking about possibly replacing him, but I got to figure out the right guy and the right way to do it, because I don't want to like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, to get back to things that matter. So yeah, a little over 17 minutes. Gail Kim gets defense number 2 of her women's world title. This gets an 85. Gail gets an 85. Celine gets a 78. And then if we look at the dirt sheet, the only thing that hurt it was the poor color commentary and the low experience, So, but everything else was freaking good, as it was also a slow build. But yeah, great stuff. And post-match, Gail Kim celebrates with the title as the announcer's put over. She's answered any questions anybody might have about her not being the true Women's World Championship, as this gets a 71. And we move forward now to the Nitro side of things. And on Slamboree, it's now time for the Gladiator match. Because, Jonathan Toro, of course, leader of the Roman Empire, has wanted to conquer Sean O'Haire, but has been unable to do so. And he got more desperate, and throughout this challenge, and O'Haire accepted. And, this is basically what this is. This is a Texas Death Match, except Falls Count Anywhere. And because these two don't click, what we had here was this was just a total and, complete mayhem. Like, this was, again, I wanted this actually to go a little longer as far as the feud goes, but because they didn't click, this is sort of the law. And these two are just, like, going right, again, just like with Booker and Palumbo, they don't click as far as wrestling moves, so here's what you can do. You can beat the shit out of each other. You can use lots of, gimmick stuff, and we can go from there. So immediately, we got chairs, we got kendo sticks, we got a table that, that O'Haire goes through quickly, but O'Haire, gets up before 10. Eventually, Romeo and Springer, of course, get involved, which just gives Toro a rest spot as O'Haire kills both men. Toro comes from there, hits the roaring elbow, basically, at the top of the ramp, gets a near 10 count off of that. O'Haire fights back. Battles, almost sends Toro off the stage, but honestly, I didn't want to risk either of these guys on a match that probably wasn't going to be that fantastic. So Toro gets out of it, hits a big sort of like exploder suplex on the ramp, goes for the roaring elbow again, but O'Haire is ready for him, grabs him, hits him with the Widowmaker on top of the ramp, but he picks him up, he drags him to the ring, holds him up to, sends him into all four corners, big clotheslines, hits a big car slam, and then picks him up to the cheers of the crowd in the middle of the ring, and hits another Widowmaker, and gets a 10 count completely clean here on Slamboree. And just like with the last match, they didn't click, as I pointed out, but they still got a 75, as I did have this as a mayhem. I had Ringer and Somio get involved, so that basically, I think, helped it, as Toro gets a 65, O'Haire gets a 70, match got the crowd buzzing. And let's see here. Great gimmick, good momentum, high morale, good road agent work. Yeah, was penalized for O'Haire was penalized for stamina, and Segment Rain was penalized for worker chemistry. So yeah, we were probably helped out by all the good road aging, all the positive stuff, and sort of the way the match was done. So yeah, big win for Sean O'Haire, and again, big question of what Jonathan Toro do with that, and what's the next step for Sean O'Haire? As of course, in the long run, he wants to win back the world championship, but the question is who will be world champion at the end of the show. And then O'Haire celebrates to a 72. Next up is a big match between two tough men as Bill Goldberg takes on Frye once again. Of course, Frye made a shocking debut here in WCW, going right after Goldberg, backed up by Randy Savage, and at the last Nitro show, Frye got the shocking victory over Goldberg, and now Goldberg's looking for revenge. And now this is, here's the thing: these two men are not great in-ring competitors, but they can beat the crap out of each other, and they can have a short, explosive match that the crowd absolutely gets into, and that's exactly what happens here. There's no selling here. This isn't quite MMA style, but this is, big kicks, lots of solid shots, and just trying to take down each other. Eventually, Frye tries to lock him into, a triangle or a Gugum Plata, but Goldberg powers out of it. Goldberg hits a big, sort of like exploder suplexes, tries to lock him into a knee lock, but Frye gets out of it. But eventually, Frye goes for another submission, but Goldberg picks him up into a powerbomb, hits the powerbomb, hits the spear, hits a huge jackhammer, and then goes over from that into a rear naked choke, and with nowhere to go, Frye has to tap out right in the middle of the ring in a little under 9 minutes. Yeah, this was just again, watch any Goldberg modern match with a little bit longer, because he's not quite as old. And The match overall gets a 79. It was dinged because of selling. Let's see here. Frye gets an 80. Goldberg gets a 91. Was there anything else? Frye gets a poor gimmick, lack of selling, slight lack of heat. One more out for Goldberg. Okay, I'll have to double check that. Frye was penalized for being inexperienced, but yeah, that's about it. Like just a banger match, just a quick match, to like remind Goldberg, everybody who Goldberg is, and keep Frye as a star here. Because here's the thing, he's still solidly over, and I have some ideas on what to do with him after the show, but that'll have to wait. As post-match, Goldberg celebrates. As your match was over, I still demand here in WCW, as this gets a 73. Time for another big singles match here on Slamboree, as Brother Ray takes on Jeff Jarrett. Of course, Jeff Jarrett is backed up by the chosen few of Mark Jindrak and Simply Johnny Divine, and Brother Ray, is trying to rise to the top here, especially after being drafted to Nitro, but Jeff Jarrett is in the way, who still thinks he is the chosen one, and there we go. And again, this is just a very solid match. Two guys who are very good at the US Pro style, so we get lots of good brawling, fighting, Jarrett going for the figure four, Brother Ray fighting out of it, some big lariats and slams from Brother Ray, Jarrett fighting back from underneath, cheating, bulldog, locking in a sort of armbar, or a deep, going for the figure four again, but Brother Ray fighting out of it. Eventually we get a rough bump, sort of late, after Ray hits the I guess we call it the brother bomb, not the bubble bomb. So he gets the sort of visual pinfall on Jarrett, and goes to try to wake up the ref, and in comes Mark Jindrak and Simply Johnny Divine, and they know with a few big moves to take him out, and then Jeff Jarrett picks up Brother Ray, boom, stroke, right in the middle of the ring. Ref recovers, 1, 2, 3, and Brother Ray unfortunately falls to the numbers game here on Slamboree, as Jeff Jarrett picks up the victory in a little under 15 minutes. And yeah, overall this got a 83. Jarrett gets a 92. Brother Ray gets an 86. Let's hear what her. Okay, well suited. Oh, did I? Oh right, yeah. I also had this as a brawl. So imagine lots more fighting. I forgot I marked this. Well, did Jarrett get hurt by that? I don't think he did. No. Okay. Let's see here. Poor announcing. Hot crowd. Arn Anderson, lack of heat from Associated Storyline. Okay. So there we go. But still, 83 is some really good stuff here. And post-match, of course, the chosen few celebrate to the boos of the crowd, as this gets a 73, and Johnny Divine's gimmick is getting stale, so that's something I'll have to look at. So next up, we have a match that's been building up the last few months, as of course, Mesias and Morningstar took out Vampiro, but then they begin to battle, as Raven took Mesias to his side, and now Morningstar has promised he'll have a new partner, a message, another monster from the message to go after Raven Mesias. So Raven Mesias come out to a mixed up, because again, Raven Mesias still not actually beloved by this crowd, but again, same sort of part of the crowd that currently loves Bray Wyatt and love the Undertaker, will love this stuff. And then Morningstar comes out, and after a moment, we get the everything goes back into darkness, and then as we come back into the light, this man is here, standing beside Morningstar, tattooed, giant beard, huge guy, probably wearing a cloak, but can't, basically what is, I found this picture for our in the new picture file for a created, for a generated worker, and the magic of Google image search is if you do reverse image search for some of the new pictures, you can actually find the pictures based on. And yeah, this honestly just random bodybuilder, and here's the thing, it's not this guy, it's the generated character that just looks like this guy. So, but regardless, he's a big guy, bearded, tattooed, and he shows up here and gets a 62 along Morningstar, and his tatted up monster gimmick gets a rating of adequate. So here we go. Now it's time for the actual match, as both men come down, and of course it's going to be a battle right from the start. And this is an absolute war, even though honestly, I did screw up because I forgot that you can't have a wild brawl, you can't have a mayhem match right after a wild brawl. So crowd is they still love this, this is still a solid match, and I wonder now if that's going to hurt. Ooh, this might hurt the main this might hurt the... Because, wait, is there another match? I always forget my own match segment ratings. Yeah, I think this might be hurt the next match. I think maybe, I hope not. I mean, if not, I can just go back and change it beforehand. I might do that. But regardless, this is what it is. Like, it is a battle. Like, this is a match to put over Kai Graves as a big new, so what happens is he basically gets in the ring. He goes right after Mesias, and they start fighting. Raven and Morningstar in the ring, have the actual wrestling match sort of things. But they fight, they battle. They, it's all over. It's mayhem. There's chairs, there's tables, there's random junk that Raven brings in because he's Raven. Raven actually hits the DDT early on Morningstar, but, Kai Graves comes in and throws him away, throws him off, and then goes after Morningstar. Mesias comes in, goes back after him. Crowd pops for two big guys fighting. Morningstar, Raven actually hits the DDT on Morningstar actually hits the big angel wings on Raven, but Mesias is ready for him, actually hits Morningstar with a chokeslam, only to get hit by a big boot from Kai Graves. Match, barrels down into just like chaos, and eventually Kai Graves is in the ring with Raven. He picks him up into a huge to a big modified chokeslam, into a powerbomb, and gets the pinfall victory over Raven right in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. As Kai Graves and Morningstar pick up the victory here on Slamboree. Yeah, this gets a 61. Kai Graves gets a 33 because he's, new. Morningstar gets an 80. Mesias gets an 83. Raven gets a 75. Morningstar is held back to the nature of the match. I mean, that makes sense. And yeah, 2 crazy matches session. Don't want the work. They need staggering so the crowd can catch their breath, which makes sense. And performance of Mesias stood out as good. So good stuff. And post-match, basically Mesias is standing on the outside, staring down Kai Graves and Morningstar. As Morningstar then picks up Raven by sort of his hair, sends him over to Kai Graves, who hits another big chokeslam into a powerbomb on him. And this war is far from over, as this gets a 66. Next up is our semi-main event, as it's ANW, Storm and Awesome, the Hart Legacy, and the Ninkyo all in the ring. It's Assault of Anarchy 2. And this match ruled. Like, there's no, here's the thing. I went back and I double checked the booking. I took it off a car crash and I put it on Steal the Show because I figured I've done Steal the Show matches back right after the other, and it's been fine. And here's the thing. They did not disappoint. Like this, I mean, imagine every great TLC match ever. Imagine whatever spots you want from there, and there you go. Mike Awesome, of course, is throwing people around, power bombs on the ladders, throwing people out of the ring, grabbing people from the ladder and just tossing them through tables. We got Lance Storm super kicking fools, locking them into submissions with help of the ladder. We got Ninkyo together, just kicking the crap out of fools. We got Hart Legacy doing the wildest crap off of ladders, onto tables, through ladders, off of tables, with chairs. And we got ANW just brawling the hell out of people, trying to win the match. And this match is going insane. Like, everybody's taking bumps. We got Yang taking a bump, taking a big one through a ladder. We got Hart Legacy getting killed by Mike Awesome with awesome bombs. We got Lance Storm super kicking fools. But it's still, and near the end, even, it looks like Chris Harris is going to actually, after AMW hit a big double team finisher, going to win the match. But Stacy Keibler gets in the ring and hits a huge low blow on Harris. And then that allows, but she didn't see James Storm coming in, and he nails her with an 8-second ride, which writes her off because she has a TV role. But that also allows Ninkyo to come in very pissed and drill Storm with a double super kick, and then just attack with knee strikes on the outside, keeping them occupied. And then Jack Evans goes up to the top. He's going to get the belt, but then he notices Mike Awesome coming up behind him. And so he dives at Mike Awesome, and Mike Awesome catches him, and one flu motion turns around, Awesome bomb to the outside through a table, and that allows Lance Storm to come in, get up to the top, grab the belts, and your winners and new WCW World Tag Team Champions are Lance Storm and Mike Awesome of the Triumvirate. And this match got us a friggin' 98. So yeah, this is going to be the best match on the show. Like, I highly doubt, like, Kidman and RVD are both great, but I doubt they're going to do this. And yeah, Storm gets an 83, Harris gets a 79, Jack Evans gets an 85, Taylor gets a 74, Kaz gets an 89, but Yang gets a 49, Mike Awesome gets an 86, Lance Storm gets an 88. Let's see here. Yeah. Dirt sheet, like, was there anything negative about this? I hope not. Yeah, okay, so just inconsistency for folks, but yeah, that's it. So yeah, I mean, I was hoping for like mid-90s here, and 98 is freaking great. Like this is a match that like people in this world in like, 20 years, in like 15 years, we'll be talking about, them getting ideas for spots of. And post-match, of course, Lance Storm and Mike Awesome celebrate with the titles as the youngsters put over that, at least for the moment, try to have the world and the world tag team titles. Now it's up time for our main event. Of course, well, okay, I got these. RVD comes out first, but then Kidman comes out with the April Hunter as the world champion, and then RVD comes out, gets a 70 and 67, and then it's time for our main event. Of course, since RVD won the Beat the Clock match a few weeks ago, he made this 2 out of 3 falls because he doesn't want Kidman to get another fluke victory, as after he called his shot and became the world champion. But Kidman believes he's the best wrestler in the world, so they're apart, crashing the ring from each other, and it's time to go. And these two men saw what happened at the previous match, and decided they couldn't be as crazy as these two men were, but they could put on a hell of a match. And what happens here, as for the first 10 minutes, it's just two men in the ring exchanging moves, like quick pinfall attempts, lots of and it's basically clean. Like, Kidman is a little rougher, but like, he's the world champion and he wants to prove he's the world champion for a reason. And then RVD is fighting back, doing his rolling thunders, leg split leg moonsault, big drop kicks, big moves on the outside. And eventually, in a little over 10 minutes, Kidman goes for the Kid Crusher. RVD gets out of it, hits a hits a big neck breaker, hits a big tornado DDT out of nowhere, hits the spinning leg lariat, hits the rolling thunder, then as Kidman gets up, he actually nails him with another big super kick, goes up top, 5-star Spiral Flash, 1, 2, 3. Rob Van Dam is up 1-0 in the 2 out of 3 falls match, and now Kidman is, very threatened, because now you could say that in the actual first match they've had, RVD is the only one who's gotten the pinfall. But Kidman goes right back on the attack after losing, and they fight. It's another 5 or 6 minutes, and out of nowhere, RVD is going for a running power bomb. Kidman turns it into a Rana into the corner. RVD stumbles out, Kid Crusher right in the middle of the ring. Kidman still holds it tight because he's a bastard heel. 1, 2, 3, and things are all tied up. And now, for the next 8-9 minutes, these two men just go full bore at each other, fighting, battling, through the outside, big dives. We get a belly-to-belly superplex by Rob Van Dam on Kidman. Both men are down. RVD goes up top for the 5-star frog splash. Kidman gets his knees up. He goes for the Kid Crusher, right in the middle of the ring, nails it. 1, 2, 3, no. RVD kicks out the last second. Kidman is upset. He's yelling at the ref. RVD comes from behind. Small package. 1, 2, no. Kidman kicks out at the last possible second, and he goes for a big, knee strike on RVD, but RVD gets out of the way, and Kidman runs right into the ref. Immediately, April Hunter throws Kidman the belt, but RVD has it first. RVD gets in the way, grabs it. It looks like he's going to nail Kidman with the belt, but instead he throws it out of the ring, hits Van Dam with hits Kidman with a big drop kick, goes for the split-legged moonsault, nails it, goes for the, and then as the ref recovers, goes up top, 5-star frog splash, but Kidman barely rolls out of the way. Kidman gets up. picks up RVD. DDT, picks someone to get. Kid Crusher goes up top. And for the first time, basically, as a heel, I'm sure it's not actually the first time, but, maybe the second or third time, he goes up top, shooting star press, 1, 2, apron on the outside holding down RVD's legs, 3, Billy Kidman has retained the WC World Championship here at Slamboree, and these guys get a 97, friggin' awesome. Kim gets an 89, RVD gets a 93. Good psychology, good job slowly building a match, charisma, star quality. Was there anything that hurt the match? Very hot crowd. Low heat of the main event, but that's it. But Billy Kidman, even though he's gotten a little help from his manager, no belt shots, no chair shots, just a huge amount of cheating from heel. He has won the 2 out of 3 falls match here at Slamboree and is still your WC World Champion. RVD rolls out of the ring, and out comes Storm and Awesome, and the show ends with all 3 men holding up their titles to an 84, as the announcer's put over the triumvirate are truly in charge of WCW at the moment. Overall, the show gets us 93. Great stuff. All right, so first, Kidman, I'll be honest, I was worried about you, and you did it. What other match was actually a lot better than I thought? Honestly, Chuck Palumbo, good job. And then also, I want to put over somebody in the 4-way. Honestly, Kaz. There we go. That was a freaking great show, honestly. I was not expecting, those 2, last matches totally, saved me there. And yeah, great freaking stuff. Great pay-per-view. I'm very happy about it all. Now here's the big thing. Kidman just beat a guy who's really over, and he had a great match as he was doing it. So, if he does not bust through 81, then that tells me something about his pop cap, which would be unfortunate, but honestly, it wouldn't affect my booking that much. Anyway, so we got Slamboree, 18,000, fantastic reviews. Okay, so we got, wait, oh shit, I forgot, oh boy, oops. Well, Eric Bischoff will not, me actually. Yeah, I know. That's, oh shit, well, owner goals, okay, so we gotta keep O'Hare over, and we gotta, yeah, okay, that's unfortunate. I totally forgot about that goal when I had Mesias lose, oh my god. Well, anyway, we got some deals expiring, which I'll help. Also, Luger's contract is ending, but I'm not going to be, if Bischoff signs him, again, great. Otherwise, I'm not going to worry about it. Joanie Ace thinks, Joanie Ace, she's a woman. So, yeah, let's see here. Now I just need to I'm not going to be that worried about it. It's not the end of the world. But, yeah, let's look over some overness of folks. First, let's look at old Billy Kidman. Popularity-wise, okay, he gained a point. Which, honestly, I'm happy he gained a point. Because I was worried he couldn't, bust through it all. Let's see here. Booker T is just insanely over. Was Chuck hurt by this much? Let's see here. No, yeah, he had already lost 2 points. Let's see here. Joanie, how upset are you at me? I know you're annoyed, but how much less over? Okay, she lost a couple points there, here and there. Hey, Tricia Skye is 87, 88, so she's there. Let's see here. Gail Kim. Oh, where are you? There you are. Yeah, Gail Kim's a little yeah. She's fine. Celine Cartier. Okay, yeah, the last couple weeks have really helped her out. Who else do we really care? Who got a big win? Kai Graves, let's see here. How much did you gain from popularity just by being on TV? Okay, 5 or 6 points. And how much did we hurt Mesias? Okay, he's fine. Like, we'll rebuild him. I mean, it's unfortunate that I screwed that up, but hey, it's not like I'm going to be fired here. And here's the thing, even if I do get fired, I'll just sign in as another person, and yeah, that's what we'll do. Van Dam. Van Dam's still super over. Like, yeah, he lost a point, so that's fine. Let's see, is there anybody else? Let's see. Did Yang get a big boost by being that great a match? Probably not, but let's just see. Not really. That's unfortunate. Oh, I'll just do this here while I have the moment. And we're just going to tweak this gimmick, because we can. There's really nobody else I really care, whose overness I really care about that much. Let's see here. Jonathan. Let's see. Jonathan Toro. How were you hurt at all by losing hair? I don't think so. No, you're fine. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, Goldberg is Goldberg, but we need to figure out something else for him. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Top matches wise, I mean, top events wise, this was one of our best shows, 93. Match wise, this immediately gets into our top tier. And yeah, creative wise, we got Bill Goldberg, Van Dam, Guerrrero, Ray Jr., and Tricia Skye as our top things. Next big things is Angel Fox, Ray LePen, Lashley LaRue, who I'm never going, Yang, and Lila Vaz. Hot prospects is Angel Fox, Teddy Hart, Keen Sharp, all that Alexander. Showstoppers is Ray, RVD, Eddy, AJ Styles, and The Truth. Ring Generals is Lance Storm, Ray Jr., Eddy, Morningstar, and Chavo. Who's hot is Kaz, Billy Kidman, James Storm, Mike Awesome, Monty Brown. Who's not is just Teddy Hart, which makes sense. Oh, that's one person I did want to check is, okay, first, Eddy. Eddy is Eddy. And Kanyon is... Okay, yeah. So he basically lost points he lost. So yeah, so that's basically it. Next up will be the Great American Bash, which will be, as you can see here, a Revolution only show. Now here's the thing. At the moment, the North contender on Revolution is Rey Mysterio Jr. Now he kept his title shot because he wanted to hopefully face his friend, but he won't. So now he'll have to face his former best friend, Billy Kidman, for the title. The question is, will it be at Great American Bash, or will Rey Jr. want that title shot beforehand? We'll just have to see about that. But that's for now. If you enjoy this, go ahead and give it a like. Comment below on what you're liking and not liking. And of course, our channel for, especially this month, plenty of TEW 2020 content, including this series, my Ring of Honor series, some other fun series my new Cornellverse series I'm doing, and also some other fun stuff like W2K23, Victoria 3, and stuff like Basketball GM, and Journey of Wrestling. But that's it for now, so talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.